Dave and I decided when we both retired from our jobs that we really didn't know what we were going to do with the rest of our life because I figured we still had a little bit of time left. And I was like, well, let's drive across Canada and the US. And both of us had moments during that time to pray and to ask for guidance from the Spirit to, to tell us where we would be best used. So we drove 10,000 miles, and somewhere near the end of the trip, I asked Dave if he had anything inspirational to say. He said, well, no, what do you think? And I said, well, the only thing I keep thinking of is Brother Kaz. Brother Kaz, Miss Rubenkamp, was a friend, and I worked with him on the college encounters and various things. And he was in charge of what was then a fledgling Haiti office. And the Bishop Sullivan and he had gone down to Haiti. And Bishop Sullivan, as usual, said, we'll see what you can do about this cause, meet with the people down there and see what the diocese can do, which he did. And I thought, you know what? I really would like to help cause because, he's so special. And suppose we just go in the office once a week and have time to answer the phone for him, do some filing, whatever, anything to help him out once a week. And we got home, we pulled in the driveway, and I said, I really would like to go down to the diocese that's having a conference on the environment. And that was things I was interested in, especially having driven cross country. And we went to only one session and got up fast because we were anxious to get home and opened the double doors, and there stood Brother Cos. I said, oh my gosh, we were just talking about you, that we would like to help you in some way. And he looked at me and he goes, get St. Michael's to twin with a parish in Haiti. And I thought, oh, okay. Well, if I can't do it, nobody can. Now, how's that for a statement? But it was true because I knew the head of Human Concerns, Bridget Sullivan. I knew the pastor. I had been doing refugee resettlement for 14 years. So I understood how to organize a parish with a mission. So I just said, okay. And I had no idea how that was going to happen. But I waited a day or two and called Bridget Sullivan, who was the head of Human Concerns, and asked her, I know you have 27 ministries, but how about, doing one for Haiti twinning and, explain to her what that was. And she said, a guy named Scott Rourke called me 2 days ago, and he said he had seen Haitians struggling off the shores of Miami and drowning, and he wanted to know how he could help, and he didn't even know the diocese was involved in Haiti. She said, isn't that amazing? I said, well, the most amazing thing is that Scott Rohr has been in a prayer group with my husband, Dave, for years, and they never mentioned Haiti one single time.
It never came up. You can't make this stuff up.
So we, called him, and we set up a group of 3 to see how we could fulfill what Brother Cos had asked for.
And may I interject that at that time, Scott is a very effective person and he gets things done. And he had already gone online, found out the diocese had a retreat to introduce people to Haiti. And this would have been in January 2003. And he'd already signed up for it. So wheels were in motion. And we commissioned him to find us a pastor. And when he went down there, they met with with a group of priests looking for twins. And one priest kind of hung in the back, wasn't very talkative. And for some reason, Scott kind of keyed in on him, and that turned out to be Father Elisier, who at that point was commissioned by his bishop in Haiti to go to a chapel of Dopelay and become a full-time pastor and make it a parish. So he was starting fresh, we were starting fresh. And that's how the mechanics of how this all got started.
We, because I'd done this several times with other parishes with refugee resettlement, I put together a sign-up sheet and was able to pass them out to all the parishioners at St. Michael's, telling them about Haiti and seeing whether they would be interested in education, healthcare. And there were 10 different things that we asked interpreters and all kinds of people to who would be willing to help with Haiti. And we told them it would be on the following Wednesday. And I walked in and we had over 100 people show up for a meeting, which was unheard of, really. So we broke down into 10 different groups. And at that point, I wasn't totally sure what these groups were going to do because didn't really know yet much about Haiti. And so we told them we were going to bring Father Lisier up to Richmond and did all that needed to be done to do that. He did not speak any English at the time. So the communication was really interesting at best. And we brought Father Lisier up, and he was to arrive here about a week after the worst hurricane we'd ever had, where nobody had water or electricity or anything. And I thought, oh my gosh, so Scott said, well, I'll take him out in my house in Montpelier because we have water, we have electricity. I said, okay. So he took him there, and after 3 days, everything came back to normal, and we took him here and began to learn with him what his hopes and dreams were and how we could help with that. We knew he had to speak to the parish because we had no money. And we couldn't do much as a twin without any money.
And on that point, him speaking to the parish, we had in the interim gotten ourselves trained on 80-20. And we were told, and we believe, it's really about a relationship between the people in two different parishes. It's not just one person here, one person there. And so it's of critical importance that Father Lisier could come as a representative of the people of his parish and speak to our parish.
We had several people volunteer to interpret. We didn't know, and this was our learning, lots of things. is that several of our interpreters were Canadian, and the French between Haiti and the Canadians was a problem. But we kind of struggled through that, and Father Lisier spoke, and it was quite dramatic because uh, we had just gotten this the first Sunday after the hurricane, and um, he got up and he wrote a talk with Scott, and went through the whole thing. The interpreter stood next to him, and he got up there and he was talking about his parish and whatever. And he said finally, people ask me about hurricanes in Haiti. We have a hurricane named poverty. And everybody was like, oh, the interpreter started crying, and he started crying, and everybody was trying to find tissues to hand him because he didn't have anything. And he got a very, very big um, donation at the collection point. And that donation helped us to start the ministry.
Now, the money he had, he took back to Haiti with him. And we said, now we've got to return the favor and send a group down there. So we set up a training program for anybody who wanted to go. And I think there might have been 7 people volunteered to go to Haiti. And we had a regular preparation, orientation to send them through so that they would realize this was really a pilgrimage. And that was a basic thing, that a pilgrimage is a difficult journey to a far off place where you expect to be gifted with an insight from the Spirit, a personal insight. And all of our trips were cast as pilgrimages, not as mission trips where you go down to build something or give them money.
Excuse me, but before that, we had Father Lisier there, and we had that 10 groups of people. We called them back together for a meeting with him, and he went to each group with an interpreter, and several interpreters there, and went to each group. And finally, the last group was the finance group. And it was run by a financially adept person. And he just right off the bat said, well, Father, what do you want? And I'm standing there going, oh, so he's asking him. And Father Lisier right away says, I want a comfortable school for my children. And so he says, how much? And he goes, I don't know. I have no idea. He goes, well, you got to tell us how much you want. So he goes, I cannot, because if I tell you something, it could be a lie. And, I want to be sure. He said, well, how can you do this? He said, well, I could go back and talk to Brother Pete, who is in my diocese in Haiti, and he has a program to kind of etch out the school and say how much it would cost to build a school. So he said, oh, okay, well, how can you do that? Can you get it to us next week? And of course, that kind of thing in Haiti takes a great deal of time. But he went back and he did get it done. And I practically died when he was, asked how much a school was, because we were told from the parish that we had no money to do anything. And don't even bring up money, I was told. And so now all of a sudden, so I get a call from human concerned saying, what is this business about a school? Why are why are you staying? We're going to build a school. We don't have any money to do anything. And I'm going, and who is this Father Peter? What he's going to do plans and all this. She had gotten all this information from somebody. And I go, okay, just, let's just slow down and let's try to figure this out. And boy, it was, just like day by day trying to figure out what we'd gotten involved in was way in over my head, because I had all these volunteers ready to work and I had a priest ready to go because now he sees, oh my gosh, there's a chance that I could actually do something. So,
point, because we weren't to do any fundraising, we were allowed to have a Haiti envelope, which, we designed, and they printed it up and put it in the envelope sets, and money began to trickle in to support the ministry. And to follow up on the business of relationship, a relationship is an exchange of gifts, and you have to be present really to exchange gifts. And both parties have to benefit. And I was driving with a priest one time early on and explained this to him. And he said, well, you all have money and we benefit. What do we have? We don't have anything. So, whoa, wait a minute. In your culture, relationships are important. In ours, not so much. In your culture, hospitality is essential. We've lost that gift. And so we went through a couple of things, and he just stopped the car in the middle of the road. He didn't believe it, that he actually had gifts to give to us in the exchange of relationships. A relationship is so important that Father Elisier, the pastor, told us a few years later that when he came to Dopelay, the people in the parish walked with their heads down, looking at the ground. He said, after a little bit of a few years of relationship, he said, now my people walk with their heads up and they have hope. And that's the best gift of all.
And the people in Dopelay, they became so precious to us. And we became to care if they were lacking in food, if they were in the middle of a hurricane, if whatever was going on, if there was a cholera, outbreak, we were very much emotionally involved with these people. And one day walking down to the chapels, it dawned on me all of a sudden that these people don't have all the things that I have. If I have a fire, I call the fire department. If I have a health emergency, I call 911 for help. No matter what problems I have in Virginia, I can solve those problems at my fingertips. But these people don't have any of those things. They were in the middle of a coup with the government, and people were walking down the street with rifles, and I was like, if this happened in my country, I'd be calling the police and they'd be bringing in troops. But no, life went on as normal. And it dawned on me, my God, they really rely totally on God, and you do not. So it was a moment in time that really refocused my whole life, really. And so, we went on from there.
We were told by Adele Della Valle Roth that she trained us, and she said, when you go to Haiti, you will do things that you never expected you would do, and you'll do them with people you never expected to do them with. And that's been the case. It's always a surprise. Now, we emphasize relationship because that's the foundation, but it's kind of like a marriage. If you have a good relationship, you can manage. But still, money is involved. You got to deal with money. And we have actually, the good people of St. Michael's have raised and contributed a large amount of money over the years, and things have been actually built and maintained in the St. John the Baptist Parish. The school was the first one. After that, there was a water project because Dr. David Walton of Partners in Health told us that we could save half the children who died before age 5 if we could give them pure water. And so we were able to, with Father Elisia's guidance, take water from a spring up in the hills and pipe it into the village. And we have a clinic, we have a new church. Everything came because we discussed with the pastor, and he said, yes, my people want that. And
And that was a decision we made early on, that no matter how great our ideas were, we would go into school and think, oh God, we could teach better than this, we could do the water project better than what they're doing. But we made the decision right in the very beginning that the pastor would be the one that made the decisions. And that was hard for a lot of people because they wanted to change what was happening in Dopelay.
So what we got out of this is examples of how it's a connection with the people. When we go to Dopelay, clearly everybody in the village knows that we're there and that we care about them. But how do you affect the people in St. Michael's? Well, we have a sponsorship program where people can sponsor children in the school, and 400 or 500 families in St. Michael's actually sponsor a family in the school. And I had several other examples, which I can't put my finger on right now. But
the rummage sale.
Oh yeah, the rummage sale. The rummage sale every year that got started because somebody said, "Hey, I put on rummage sale. Would you like me to put one on?" And sure enough, and hundreds of people volunteer to do a lot of work for the annual rummage sale. And Father Dan loves that because he says it's a community building activity that St. Michael's benefits from. So there's all of these things that happen that change people in both parishes, which is the whole goal of being twinned with a parish in Haiti.